Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to GameStar TV for your evening dose of the Blizzard ANZ HGC Heroes of the Storm qualifiers. Once again, my name is Kit Fox. I am your host for this evening. If you have just joined us, we are in for a nail-biter of game number one. It is one apiece from Ethereal versus Team Nmd. Now, we have had a request from Team Trump Sports, who have actually got their opponent, no worries, all lined up, ready to go in the next bracket. A couple of them are in New Zealand, so that's probably the request behind that. So we're going to let them go ahead and play their game, and then we will be bringing up the dark-sided match versus the winner of this stream up next. A quick shout-out to our latest subscriber and, well, our latest cheerer, Nuck, for throwing in 100 bits and supporting the scene. So from us to you, thank you so much. If anybody else wants to get involved with that, all you have to do is, if you're a Twitch Prime member, throw in your bits. You can donate to the channel as well, and all that money will go to getting casters to events and prize pools for future tournaments. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you back to your casters, Skimmy and Vandie, because it is the final game, game number 3 of Nmd versus Ethereal.
Well, that's exactly right, Kev Fox. Here we go. This is the juggler. This is the decider. These guys have been popping off 2 games back-to-back with different outcomes, different results. And now, it all comes down to Infernal Shrines, Vandie.
It really does, and I like this because I feel like both teams are now on even ground. So we saw Towers of Doom being the first map choice, and then followed by a Dragon Shard. And now we have Infernal Shrine. So all of these maps, I believe, are quite comfortable maps for ANZ players. We find them to be quite fun to play on, and the strategies have all worked out, all scrimmed upon, and let's see how they executed, Skibby.
So, I mean, Ethereal had a lot of success on the Diva. This is another brilliant map for that Diva to come out on if they decide to. We've seen Nmd on 2 separate occasions run extremely aggressive compositions. I don't know if they've got anything else in the bank, if they've prepared anything. I mean, this is a new team, so they might be running for the clear cut, go for the kill, execute. And if that's all they can play, you know, that Diva, once again, is going to find a ton of value.
It really can. As we saw in that first game, there needs to be some respect on that Diva. Either pick her for yourselves or ban her out, perhaps, because it can take out a lot of the control, a lot of the fight that we were seeing Ethereal bringing in that first game.
Oh, Kerrigan gone right like that, Nmd. Potentially that is the respect ban. There we go. It had to be the Diva.
Yeah.
I would have been a bit questioned. I would have been questioning my own sort of judgment. Not to mention that Uther has not been picked, but let's not talk about too much about that. Let's think. What is the first pick? Ethereal have had first pick twice. This has been the 3rd time for them now. Dahaka is available, and Dahaka, a beautiful pick on this map. Potentially first pick worthy.
Dahaka can work so well on this map, and now with the Kerrigan out, the Diva out, I would not be surprised to see a Dahaka opening. And if not Dahaka, a Nubarak. We're seeing these warriors being highly prioritized. Yes, we can also see the Uther as well if they do want to go, but it's really going to be either the Warriors or that hyper carry, the Genji, coming out. So both teams really prioritizing picking him up when he was available.
Oh, and Nubarak is going to be the lock-in here. Back to basics, really. So they don't want to go for the Genji once again. Far too weak, I feel, without the Ethereal or the Uther. Not to mention, they didn't have the Rhaegar, so no burst ability to ensure that that Dragon Blade could find insane amounts of value. But our blue team here, Nmd, with 2 rotational choices of themselves. They've been interesting in terms of their drafting so far. I would love to see them just once again lock in that Grandmother, that Valor. Seems to be providing them with a lot of success. But, you know, make sure that Uther doesn't go amiss. It seems to achieve so much for these teams.
It really does. You know, I can almost feel Hiccup being really sad that Kerrigan got banned out, because Hiccup has shown himself to be a really, really formidable Kerrigan player. Yep. And this is just one of her niche maps where she just works so well. So I can almost hear Hiccup being like, darn, they did that respect ban. Like, I hate it. But we have also seen him prioritize things like Lunara. Not that she's going to be first pick. I'm just thinking about how they want to round off their comp. But
I like this.
Bella, this is such a strong opening.
Absolutely. No, I do like this quite a bit. So Dahaka, so strong on this map, the rotational ability, the ability to soak for days, it seems to be working in their favor. You saw a Nagon for a lot of the time on Dragonshire split from the team. Can you imagine if they had the global pressure to be able to burrow in? It'd be even more insane than what was currently displayed. And that was with them winning 4v5 situations. So watch out for that. But Vala, my favorite hero in the game, a hero that is so damn strong. We've seen a lot of it over the weekend, potentially now going to be threatening that double support.
That's exactly it, Skimmy. Once again, taking the words right out of my mouth. With Valor, we can really start to see, especially with the Polish polishing. I'm like, that's not a word. Done to Tacita, he's really, really strong and viable in a double support comp. Or if not that, really getting that strong front line and just allowing Val to sit back, relax, and just sort of right-click people to death, essentially.
Wow, the response straight away is Li Ming and Falstead. So they respect the global pressure. Ethereal feeling that they need to be able to mirror that. And then Li Ming. We always talk about Li Ming as being a questionable pick on this map. The little skeletal dudes. Yes, it's not the best, but in terms of the ability to then poke on down and get kills and reset, potentially threatening the Genji, depends how scared NMD are of that. They've gone for the Lieutenant Morales, which is suggesting they're not going to go for a dive-heavy comp. Would indicate, Vandie, that they are looking to try and utilize that hyper carry.
It's all going to be on Valor. So it was going to be what we saw in that first game, except Genji was the chosen hyper carry. But it's dangerous doing that. Oh, but I love that.
Good
they
read.
saw that coming, and Tacita has been banned out. You can still run a double support comp.
Yep.
You will take Oriole and then perhaps just fill her out with a Rhaegar or a Karazim or just another secondary.
Literally anything else.
Yeah, but it's just not as viable. It shuts down. Like, really, Tacita, Oriole would have been the holy trinity, and they saw that coming. So, great ban. Very strategic.
Oh, I love this. Such a strong opening here from NMD. It seems that their drafting has improved tenfold from game 1 to game 3. I mean, if you're on the side... I mean, it's questionable, actually. It makes me laugh because Diablo is arguably one of the best counters towards that medic, but still they decide, no medic for you. Now it questions, do they, on the side of Ethereal, go for the Uther? I always laugh about it, but there's so much CC now on the side of NMD that it gains so much value.
They do. They need some mitigation for that. If not the Uther, perhaps Ethereal to once again give them a safe zone if Diablo does catch them off with the APOC, and just really make sure that they don't get poked down before the fight has even begun. With that Valor as well, pressuring the Haka, like there's so much they need to deal with. It's quite a scary comp on the side of NMD. Like you said, they've drafted so well.
So let's talk about what Ethereal have currently for them. So they've got the Li Ming and Nubrak, so they've got the ability to then follow up a Cocoon. They've got the ability to blow somebody up. They then have Ragnaros on top of all things considered. So they've got 2 big blow-up mages. They're going to run a bit of an old-school comp if we have anything to go based on here, Vandie. Malfurion going to be the innovate pocketer for both of those mages, but then Falster to mirror the global. I expect to see the potential gust into separation and then blowing somebody up with those mages, but they're going to be up against a tall order. Greymane, once again, it is the double hyper carry. We were wondering if it was going to be that last game, but they bring it out for the best of 3 finale.
Greymane, Valor up their sleeve, really high-hitting damage heroes. That Raggy as well. Clever pickup on the map like this, really can absorb a lot if they do happen to lose the objective and lose that Punisher coming their way. But I just don't know. It's going to be, if Anubrak can get some Cocoon value, it will be a totally different story in these team fights, similar to how we saw in Towers of Doom. As soon as Genji Dragon Bladed, the Cocoon went on him and it just shut him down. I'd like to see the same thing either going to happen to the Valor, Greymane, or even Oriole. Deny the healing. Don't let her heal for days.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen in the past where Oriole and Ragnaros, it's a fight of who can bait out the ultimate first, like a game of sort of like Text and Hold'em, you know. Ooh, is he going to use the Aegis? Or is he going to use the, big hammer from above to sort of smash on through? And, you know, if you use one at the wrong time, you either look like a hero or you die trying. But 2 very different team comps. Vandie, is there any comp that you prefer?
Oh, I really, really like NMD's hands down because that's the comp I like to play. That's the comp I know how to execute really well. I'm not saying that Ethereal have a bad draft. By all means, they have very, very strong heroes on their side as well. It's just how they have to execute it. They've got a lot more that they need to worry about, essentially.
100% agree on that fact. But let's talk about this team on the left-hand side. This is NMD with, once again, a very aggressive team comp. Hiccup on Dahaka and Nagon on Diablo. Hux this time on Oriole. Mudvayne once again on Greymane. And Physics on Valor.
And on the red side, we have Ethereal, Crazometer on Anubrak, Touch Me on Falstad, Greatness on Li Ming, Sarah Lee on Ragnaros, and Luminum on Malfurion.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a little bit depressing when you have to sort of say, it's got a little bit more coordination or has a little bit more factors involved to pull it off. Because, it's ANZ, we're a minor region. You kind of get that sort of very self-defeatist mindset. And it's a problem that, Nami have brought up a lot of times that they hate screwing here. They don't really have a dedicated screwing partner that can really challenge them on the global circuit. You can imagine that when they do get these chances to go overseas, you have to just scrim and scrim hard.
That's really it. But regardless of that, it all comes down to how you play at home. Every game is winnable. It's just, you can make it either easier for yourself or harder for yourself in the draft.
Absolutely, Vandie. There we go. And Aegon going to go straight on in on Chrysometer. Both tanks flexing their prow. And it's going to be, well, it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to execute this. The double early game pressure from those AD carries should lend a hand. It's the aggression that they've known all series long, the aggression that they're comfortable with, they're warmed up with. And that would lend, a slight favoritism towards them.
Primed and ready to go, and just bounced out. I'm interested. He's taking out Seasoned Marksman, showing us that he really is going to value soaking up. He's expecting the long haul against a Haka with that Seasoned Marksman, and he really wants to get that extra damage coming out by soaking up the minions, by stacking up Seasoned Marksman.
As a result of Nmd manipulating these waves in their favour, they've actually been able to go for the bush ganks, and straight away Chrysometer is forced to burrow out. Takes a big heal from Luminum, but that's a lot of pressure. I mean, he is essentially an anti-mage tank, and he's getting bodied by auto attacks.
That's essentially it. So that's where Nubrak can really, really struggle, and that's immediately exactly the counter picking that you wanted to see coming out for MD. All right, they've got an anti-mage tank. Let's run attack damage. Now what are they going to run? So it really just puts them on the foot. Once again, it's all about guessing the draft and seeing how you can optimally adjust. And Hiccup here, going for the objective nice and early, not too fast.
Despite all this though, Vandie, there is an advantage right now in Ethereal's favour, and an Aegon, well, he's in a bit of trouble. He's going to try and run away for his life. Sorelli with the blast wave, looking to pick up an Aegon who was dropped to 150 HP. And despite all this, I mean, there's a lot of folk. This is the power of Major sieging from afar. And Hiccup, he's so low! He gets taken out in the brush. Greatness really living a testament to his name, and beautiful first blood.
That was spectacular. That was greatness. I have to agree with you, Skimmy. Well played. And this is the poke that comes out. Diablo, not so tanky until he starts to stack up those souls and really get his passive starting to get to work for him. He's such a squishy little thing at the beginning of the game. But Hiccup burrowing on in.
Yeah, it's not going to be too much of a fright at this early stage of the game when respawn times are slow. He can just brush through a brain. But look at that damage. Greatness executed it well in game number 1. He's doing, once again, beautiful work game number 3. And those skeletal defenders, I mean, it's now an effort for Nmd to make something happen. They're going to collapse straight on towards Punch Me. He's getting low. There's a beautiful burrow that this time does shoot out that all, but it's not enough. The damage is too fast. Clean, burrow charge at the last second. He does get taken out though, Vandie. This is the power of AD carries. Triple kill. Can I get a quad? Yes, I can, says the auctioneer. They're picking up Sorelli.
Oh, that was really well played. Like you said, it's about running out of that steam. That's what Valor and Oriole can really do. Sit back for days. Let me generate the hope for you. Oh, greatness. He didn't need to be there. That was greedy.
Oh no, it looks so good to start off on that Punisher. But I mean, that was the call that was made by Nmd. Look, they're getting close to 40. We need to do something now, or we just have to concede and start soaking. And the call's been made. The half-level lead has been achieved. Now expect to see the soak come out.
Well, I can see what Greatness was trying to do. He has opted for Triumvirate, meaning that he is going to build into that 4 build that we saw from the first game, get that poke going. So he thought he could just poke, just try to get some people low, just stall out the objective, but he didn't need, he could have just started soaking lane. It was already a done deal, and immediately, Sarah Lee absorbing a lot of that Punisher. That's exactly why Ragnar is so good on this map.
And we're actually seeing a variation that comes across as a result of having those globals. Typically speaking, you'd see this with Azul on this map, but no, both Hiccup and Touch Me are rotating and double soaking. So as opposed to doing the 3-1-1 lane setup and pushing with 3, they actually had the 4 members pushing on through. Yes, Molten Core did prevent that fort from being taken down, but the pressure was there to enable that sort of core spell to be utilized.
Yeah, exactly right, Skimmy. The global pressure just opens up a lot more potential in that laning is something that you don't really need to worry about. You cover one lane, I'll cover the others. I'll push, go to the next lane, push, go to the like. It's about clearing out those waves. It's really good to see this type of play as well, especially when you've got a brawler-centric comp, which both teams are packing at the moment.
Well, it's a close game so far. 5 kills to 2. A lot of that coming down to that previous Shrine fight, but the level difference is it's nothing too paramount at this stage. Small leads where they can. Right now, the macro game is in favor of Nmd, who are getting the out rotations, but a huge presence from Ethereal with 2 members pushing in top lane, looking and saying, well, hey, you didn't take down our fault, so why don't we try and get our own mini Punisher?
That's exactly it. This is the mini Punisher at work. I love that. And we can see on the other side, though, it's exactly the same. Both teams are mirroring. So with 2 members of Ethereal on top, and then we've got 4 members of Nmd down in the bottom lane. So both teams mirroring by trying to get that pressure, but they're not getting a lot done, even with 4 members down in the bottom.
No, I mean, they're dancing around here for a long time, and Ethereal says, great, I mean, keep doing this. We're buying so much time to push into free and top lane, and oh, if Hiccup dies here, this is so unlucky. Darker is gone. The amount of value they were getting anyway, Vandie, not to mention a kill. Wow.
That's exactly it. So really, even though I said they were mirroring, there was one critical difference, and that was that there were no defenders in the top lane from Nmd until Hiccup came in thinking he could clear the waves, and it's always that thing, like, you think you're safe under a fortification, but if you've got 2 members and one of them being a tank, a Nubrak, you're not going to be safe. They're going to dive you. Nothing can save you.
That dance really hurt them. A 4-level lead down as a result. Complete out strategy coming out there from Ethereal. And it times quite nicely because this next shrine does spawn in the mid lane. They do have the pressure. They have the presence as well. And now that level 10 has been achieved by the side of Nmd, we have to see them going for the aggression. They do have the APOD combo. They are going to go with, once again, go for the throw, but they're going to go for strafe as well. And straight away, Enable getting sweaty, jumping in the front line. No value retrieved. Gust comes across as well. Cocoon is on towards Physics, and they find a block. Physics is taking so much damage. Firing away, greatness with the orb. The fade away. Look at the damage. It's just so disgusting greatness. Single family popping off and carrying. And the rest of the team on the point saying, we'll get the Punisher, you do the claiming.
Greatness showing why Li Ming can be still such a viable pick on this map. Doesn't matter if the fight is happening around there because Vala was nowhere near the little dude. She needed them to be her protection, to be her shield. And with no one in the way, it was just a matter of time. And the strafe has been picked up to really allow her to refill Oriel's hope, but it didn't even matter because she was nowhere near them.
It's damage control if you're Nmd right now. They're pushing through mid lane. Another jump might potentially come out here, but Stray's going to get into the Molten Core. He might even be able to snipe a kill away. Wow! The rank hammer coming on down. It does pick up Raven. The sniping potential, even when he's not playing Nova, Vandie. I know you love the hero, but Rank can do the exact same.
Hey, that's mad respect. I love that Nova channeling coming out of Rag, and Sarah Lee showing us that he is angry. He had to use it defensively before. This time it's going to be an aggressive.
Angry instead. Oh dear. Touch me, push top the entire time as well, Vandie, and as a result, a 2-level lead was established. Level advantage, talent tier advantage, and just absolute map control. I mean, there's no other way to really describe it. Nmd need to reset the books, go back to basics, you know, because otherwise this game is starting to snowball out of hand.
And Power Spike being picked up by Ragnaros with Sulfurous Hungers being completed now. So every time he uses it, it's going to deal a lot more damage. And 13 as well acquired on the side of Ethereal. So if they force a fight now and it goes in their favor, they can only further the snowball that they've started to create.
Aegis was popped very early on there. They expected a lot more follow-up damage. The root was there, but the damage to follow up from Luminon was not present. And well, they can really abuse the fact here that they have the 13 over their opponents. They got the control of the Khazra, they got the control of the mid lane, and right now it's all eyes on taking down this fort.
That's exactly it. Glass Cannon as well being picked up by Li Ming, so if she is pounced upon by Mudvayne, she could be in a lot of trouble. Yes, she gets extra damage, but she also gets extra squishy.
In her positioning so far, she hasn't really been challenged too much. Every single time she's getting the damage, she's getting out of harm's way, putting both Physics and Mudvayne into almost questionable positions to get on her tower. They need to try and really execute that Enagon combo. The APOC didn't achieve anything last time. Expect this time was the Shriners in the top lane where it was a huge choke for that to really be the do-or-die situation.
That's right, Skimmy. I mean, I really like that point that you brought up. Greatness, the positioning of Greatness is so well done, and really, we need to see that coming out of Physics. He needs to be behind his front line, and he needs to, more importantly, be near Hux. Otherwise, Oriel cannot help him. So you cannot get picked out. You need to be around the ones who can keep you alive, essentially, and that is what Greatness is doing.
Wow, look at this. They're feeling so comfortable with Ethereal. They realize that, hey, our opponents still don't have 13. We have time just to pick these up on the way. So they go for the drive-through. They pick up a McFlurry. They get the camp. They go straight onto the point now, which is already 10 dudes in their little favor. And, I mean, there's no response. 13 only now being established. But Ethereal are well on their way to hitting 16.
That's my favorite kind of drive-through, the value drive-through. And exactly that. With 13 being picked up, they are an even fighting ground for once.
Oh, this could be good. This could be the chance. Twilight Dream comes out, but the instant response to the Gust is beautiful. Pickup got so much value, Vandie. Did you see that adaptation? Got the bar at the last second. The Cocoon was on physics. It's forcing out the Aegis. They need to reset. Sulfurous smashes there. There is no chance. Once again, greatness with the orbs, with the damage, with the potential to 1, 2, 3. Can I get a quadra kill? Let's get the ace. Give him the penta. And that is just a clean house fight.
I think we're going to start to see some respect bands coming out for Greatness' lane, just so on point. And also, Sarah Lee winning that Mexican stand-up, as we said, about is it going to be Aegis first, is it going to be Sulfurous Smash first? We saw the Aegis expired and boom,
Bam.
The hammer came. Crazy stuff. So well executed, and Touch Me as well, reacting so well. I mean, yes, he did get such great value on the adaptation to stall, to make sure Li-Ming couldn't get the resets. It wasn't enough.
This is surely a keep. They're only now going to pick up the Mortar Punisher, which is unfortunate for the Shaman camp, but the damage has already been done. That keep is exposed. This Punisher will be coming in. They have the 16 advantage over their opponents, Vandie. They're actually looking to rotate, which I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, maybe they're just doing a double fake and just trying to throw me off my game, but surely that keep is dead. It gives them pressure. We saw what that meant for Dragonshy.
Yeah, they were thinking about it, but I think also as well they were just scouting out, seeing if the Hunt was trying to get a sneaky walk into lane perhaps and then burrow back.
It's a good leash there by Hiccup to take it through to the mid lane. So this means that only 5 members of Ethereal are doing damage onto this keep. Expects Rally, he has the multi-core available, expecting to go for the channel. Essentially does that. He jukes at the A-Block as a result. Swing of the hammer. Light as the fire comes across. A beautiful gust. Getting 2 people. Twilight Dream, could it be even more picture perfect, Vandie? Triple kill. And that's the quadra. Vandie, he is spitting to winning with the 360-degree plays. 30 minutes into this one. And Ethereal, wow, demolishing this game.
There were some sweet style points going on. And that was exactly it. Like, we were a little bit apprehensive about this draft going into it. We're like, I want to see how it works, but the result is getting so much better. Woo!
It just doesn't end.
It
does not end. Wow. 16 kills to 5. 17 to 14, Vandie. What a series.
What an amazing series. Well played, Ethereal. Like we said, we doubted your draft, but you made it work by getting the poke, by getting the kills, and Cocoon value, very important as well. It just all worked. It all fit into place, and well played, essentially. Would you like to kick us off with the MVP nominations?
Oh, Vandie, I mean, I think I praised this person so much during the game. I'm sure you have a bit of an idea of who I'm going to be talking about, but Greatness really making that name stand out and feel like it's deserved. I mean, the damage, the ability to make sure that he was always safe and preventing what we thought was a superior comp from achieving any value has to be my MVP nomination.
Oh, I have to agree with you, Skimmy. Just, it was so well done. Just, yeah. Yeah, congrats, because it was just, yeah, perfect.
Well, there you go, Greatness. You pick yourself up the final MVP nomination of this series, and that does it for this one. That does it for round 1. Ethereal on the night for week 3. 2-1 against Nmd. Stick around, guys. Round 2 still to follow for more Gamester ANZ Heroes of the Storm.